Wow, we're back. We're back. Love Them Knives channel. Gerber Knives. Yeah, I'm excited. Okay, I'm a liar. I'm not that excited. Okay, this is the Gerber Index. Yeah, and it says it's red. So if you're colorblind, this is red. This is what red looks like for other people, the rest of us. And it comes in blue as well. And I chose red because I always choose blue. Because like I'm blue everything if I get a color choice. And so I'm going red. Go big red. So if you like, Alabama, if you like, no, they're the Crimson Tide, right? Oklahoma, Nebraska, Ohio State. Hell, I don't know. Everybody got to get some red. This is not a bad little knife. This was like $28, something like that on Blade HQ. Yeah, $28.95. And I ordered this when I ordered my Natrix, which was a $20 more than this. Okay? So this is the Gerber Index liner lock knife. It's aluminum. It's anodized. It's 3.3 inch blade. This is a satin, supposedly. And that doesn't look satin to me. So maybe I didn't get the satin. Is there a non-satin available? Help. No, I think it is. I think that's the way, what they call satin. To me, that looks a little bit, well, no, it's satin. But I mean, sometimes they look a little bit like hand rub satin or bead blast satin. And they call them satin, but they have kind of a different look to them. But this is kind of just, yeah, a real, not so shiny satin. But yeah, that's what it is. Believe it or not. The Index. There you go. It's a rugged folding knife. Oh yeah, it's CTS 204P steel. Wrong. 5CR15. Ouch. I mean, can we just use cardboard and paint it silver? Newow. I don't know. I'll tell you one thing. It was sharp enough to cut me open like a gut, like gutting an animal. I mean, this one, I was messing with this blade. I was like doing this, which is, do not do this. I was doing this, like I put a little bit of lube on there because it's not bearings. It's just like a bronze washers in here. So I was like, And what I did is I took that tip and when I went back, it went right across there. And it opened it up. I mean, it was a thing of beauty to behold. The internal organs started falling out. It was, oh my God. If I would have gone to the doctor, they'd have probably thrown 3 stitches in there. In any case, but I didn't. And it's holding together so far. Yes, it's sharp. It is adequately sharp. What else does it say about it? 7.8 inches, 3.3 on the blade. The lovely steel, satin, hollow grind, aluminum, stainless, 5.5 ounces, because it is it's tip up. When you look at this knife, it is fairly thick this way. And let me see if I can show you exactly how, because it is kind of thick this way. It's 14.5 millimeters. It's 5.7 inch. It's 0.57, 0.56. So it's, a lot of knives are like 0.48, whatever. This is a lot thicker than that. This has got those stainless scale liners in it. You got your standoffs in there. So it looks like this kind of pretty rugged built knife. And look at the pivot. You got a screw here, but do it from this side. Okay, this is where I loosened the pivot, got some lube in there, kind of went sideways, loosened it way up without having to take it apart, drop a little lube in there. And because I know these washers will get better and, it will flip without wrist now. It wasn't that way when I got it. This was too tight. I had to back this off a little bit. And it doesn't have blade play. There's no blade play there now. I backed it off to where it had a lot of blade play because I wanted the lube to kind of penetrate into those bushings, washers. and then used it for a while. And I think the more you do this, the smoother it'll get over time. So, as it may be. Let me take a look at here. You've got your blade stop pin up here, and it's, goes into these metal liners, so that does secure that pretty well. Looks like your thumb studs almost act as a blade stop as well, but you got that pin there. So really the blade stop is not, the studs are not necessarily the blade stop. They milled this flipper tab out open a little bit, I guess just for looks and maybe for weight. And it's kind of canted forward that way. There's no jimping on it per se, and it's not real tall, but it functions just fine. So I'm good with that. How's it feel in the hand? Feels pretty good. That pocket clip is a good pocket clip. This will get over the seam of your pocket and slide in pretty well. It's not real deep, necessarily, official deep carry, but it's fairly deep carry. And you've got a lanyard hole through here. So you got lanyard hole, you got color, you got aluminum. It won't scratch up probably as bad as titanium would or some other things, although G10 would probably be a little bit more resistant to looking crappy over time. But aluminum's not bad. It'll take some stuff to tear it up. As far as taking the color off of it. So, and I like the blade shape. And this will work for piercing, although the tip looks a little fragile really. I didn't really bring that material up as heavy, although, you're looking at the top here where it's swedged. So the thickness here is a little deceiving. It's thicker in here than it would look, than you would think. But yeah, good for piercing, good for slicing, although, you got a typical flipper tab thing. So, to really make contact with things, you can't do it like that. You have to draw it. So really your cutting area is right there. In any case, just thought I'd point that out. But otherwise, pretty good action now. No, they didn't skeletonize the stainless liners at all. Not a huge knife. Put it next to the Mannix. Pretty much the same size as the Mannix. So Mannix is 8 1/4 overall. Okay. This knife, let's have a look. Well, we got 3.3 inch blade, which is about 84, not quite 85 millimeters. Overall, not quite 8 inches, 7 7/8. So really the Mannix is 8 1/4. So we are an eighth, 3/8 shorter officially. And we're not quite at 20 centimeters overall length. Okay. No, we can live with that. So it makes it a pretty Seeable blade. Blade stock on the 5CR15 MOV blade, 0.151, which should be almost 4 millimeter, 3.8 millimeter thick blade stock. So that's pretty heavy blade stock actually, especially for a smaller knife that's under 8 inches. Almost 8 though. Yeah, it's acting better now. When I first got it out of the box, it was just, it was not that I was getting that, with the flip, maybe that. And then it would open all the way if you gave it some wrist action. But then I loosened this up, this side, remember, and put just a couple of drops of lube in there. And then I was just, working it in, from different angles. And it seems better now. And of course, maybe just the fact that I loosened this just a skosh, because I think it was a little over tightened, helped as well. And over time, maybe get better. Too bad they didn't put bearings in it, but it's a $28 deal, so And, you know, these bushings are fine, and, you know, they won't catch as much dirt maybe as bearings would. So really, if you're talking about a hard user knife, maybe it's just as well, actually. Maybe it's just as well. Okay, but it feels substantial in the hand. It feels pretty heavy. Well, you know, 5.5 ounces, I mean, for a knife under 8 inches long, that's pretty substantial, 156 grams. So yeah, it's a chunk of change. It's a chunk of change. Oh, where was I going to get it? Okay, so here's the Natrix that costs $40. And here's your Gerber Index that costs $28. This is really $38.95, something like this, $28.95 here, I guess. So $10 difference. This is $10 cheaper. This is supposedly G10. It feels like kind of hollow plasticky, like maybe whatever, but just like a nylon plastic, but it's supposedly G10. This one just feels more heft, more substantial in the hand. This is 8CR13 MOV. This is 5CR15 MOV. I don't know. I mean, over time, are they going to sharpen and perform pretty much? Yeah, I think so. Both are pretty good designs, although this has been much heralded because it has that triple ZT 777 or ZT 770 look to it. So the design here probably gets the thumbs up bigger. This one, though, the Index, really a pretty attractive design. I mean, as far as thick and heavy duty, I mean, this is steel liners where that stop pin goes into. This is not. It just goes into this thin plastic area up here. So, yikes. Blade stock, 2-point-something millimeters. This is almost 4. So, much thicker blade stock. Okay, just saying. In any case, I don't know that was a worthy comparison, but they're similar, market-wise knives. You'd be in Walmart or somewhere looking for a good carry knife. This might be more of a heavy-duty, heavy user, something maybe I'd feel less worried about falling apart. But in any case, yeah, and this is the first Gerber I think I've put on my channel, so shame on me, I guess. But I was looking for design, and this Index is pretty cool. So I bought actually both of these at the same time, the Natrix and the Index at the same time. So, I was really looking forward, especially to the Natrix, but I was a little bit more impressed actually with the Index than the Natrix, especially since this has got assisted opening, which is no bueno in my world. I'm just not a big assisted opening guy. Hell, I'd rather have a bronze washers and no assisted opening at all, tell you the truth. So, yeah, it's still fairly stiff dropping it here. But, I mean, at least this has got a lanyard hole too. And, steel liners, I think you could run over this with your pickup truck and not have a problem. I don't think I'd try it with this one. This is just plastic. I think we would have issues. That's just my thought. In any case, tell me what you think. Do you have one of these Index knives? I think it'd be a good little beater to carry. Although, if you're looking in the $28 to $30 range, I mean, you can also, do something like the Ganzo Firebird stuff. I mean, all of them are made in China anyhow. This has got carbon fiber G10 with steel liners, and the G-Lock, which is a lot like the Benchmade lock, but Axis lock, thing. But 440C steel as opposed to 5CR15. You know what I mean? That's what I'm thinking. In any case, just just like throwing that out there for your consideration. Or like this knife is a $34, $35 knife. The Reek or Rake knife, made in China as well, but you know, nice steel liners, bearings, beautiful action, heavy construction, nice heavy thick G10, but about the same weight probably, even though it's a bigger knife. And this has got Sandvik. So this is that really nice 14N28 or 14C28N Sandvik, which this is 5CR15. So, yeah, just, you know, throwing it out there for, you know, consideration. You know, so you're in that kind of $29, $30 range, you know, so that's when knives like a $24 knife here or a $34 knife here kind of rotating around that neighborhood. And hold on, let me throw this one. You know, the Remedy is another one that's like low 30s. So, you know, and that's got IKBS, and this is an MOV steel. So probably a little bit nicer steel than this one. So, I mean, you know, you got a lot of things that you can consider. Leon Ma design, you know, cool. In any case, whatever. Just thought I'd throw them out there. I'll throw it out and you can do the same. But interesting. I did like the color choices. I like the satin. I like the blade grind. I like the overall design. Would it have been better for me with bearings? Yeah, but this functions all right with washers. I just, you know, 5CR15. Yeah, I mean, at least, you know, if 8CR13, maybe a 440 would have been nice. But, you know, you're talking under $30. So, as a beater, as a work knife, I think it'd hold up fine. I think it'd be okay. So if it's a design you really like, I don't see a problem with it. I mean, I'm feeling it in my hands. The blade, I mean, the pocket clip doesn't really give me a problem as far as hot spots. It feels good in the hand. It's easy to disengage the liner. Okay, so it functions well there. Fit and finish looks to be pretty good. I mean, no blade play, no lock rock. And pretty much centered up, might be just a skosh up to that side. And that's because I backed this pivot off just a little bit. And, you know, it's always unfortunate when the knife centers, when you have the pivot completely cranked down. That's not really a good idea. See, it's just a little bit off, but it's not that big a deal. But, you know, I did that because I moved this away a little bit just to give it better action. So, I mean, that's my bad, you know. In any case, thank you so much for joining me. You know what we do. And subscribe, because when we have our giveaways, you have to be a subscriber to win. We love them knives. Yes, we do. So stay sharp, my friends.